Morgan, Charles Van Morgan live. I meant to take a picture first, but standing in front of a punching bag, kind of a symbol. You know, that's a good thing to do is come on in. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Charles Van Morgan standing in front of a punching bag. I'm not the punching bag. I hit that punching bag for practice. And I'm not condoning any type of violence, but training to fight in case somebody attacks you is a good thing. So yeah, it is a Gold's Gym punching bag. There's a lot of different good punching bags. That's the one I've chosen. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. I'm on here a little bit early. See if we can catch a little bit of the earlier people. We'll stay on till about the usual time. Try to. This morning we're gonna talk about the illusion of control. I know it's dark. I'll get in under the light here. The illusion of control. Okay, we got some people in here. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We are trying to catch a little bit of the earlier crowd, and I'm going to show you a video here in just a second of something that happened. The title of the show this morning, Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Join me, like, share, comment. The title is The Illusion of Control, and we're going to talk about who's in ultimate control, and we're going to talk about the government don't want you here. Continuing that line of thinking that we did last Saturday. We got over 15,000 views last Saturday. Thank y'all so very much. Y'all are so kind. Wonderful people. We appreciate it. The illusion of control. And we're going to talk about the government, specifically here in the city of Knoxville and all over the United States. And this has been happening before Trump, so you can't blame it on him. The government doesn't want you here. They want complete control over you. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Now remember this. Sigma, I don't know what that means. Just remember this. I'm not pointing at you, waving at you. Just remember this. That you won't hear this anywhere else except for here. Charles Van Morgan show in the morning. Unbridled news. You won't hear anybody going against people in government power. I'm not against the government. I'm against people in government power now because they mistreat you. But you won't hear any of this except for Charles Van Morgan in the morning. You won't hear it from anybody else. I'm not bound or bridled by their lies. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about here in just a minute. I'm going to play a little video of something that took place just a few months ago. And they want to act like
website, Tennessee.gov.
Enforce rules on you that don't exist. So let me show you this right here. Let me show you this video, and then we'll get right into the show. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Here we go. Watch this video. Real live. They don't want you here. They don't want me here, but I stand my ground. Watch this.
Call the police and tell them to move.
Here we go. Here we go.
And I will sue you and your company. You got that? The best thing you can do is leave me alone. Okay, parks info.
Here we go. We'll play the whole thing again.
I ain't reading that.
Call
the police officer here and tell them to ask me to leave then. Go ahead and call them. Otherwise, you leave me alone or I'll consider that act of aggression against me and take measures to defend myself. Do you understand that?
You're trespassing on city property.
No, I'm not trespassing on city property. No, I'm not threatening you. I said if you bother me again.
The property here is now threatening. He's going to escalate to violence.
That's not true.
Listen to that liar. Listen to that liar. Listen to that liar. Liar. Trying to get me killed, isn't he? Trying to get me killed.
You have no right to tell me to leave.
He doesn't. He doesn't have any right to tell me to leave.
And you threaten me. You beat on my window.
Yeah, he attacks me, beats on my window, and then says,
You beat on it. Dude, I'm going to
yeah, let me see your camera. I got a camera too.
And you just lied on the phone.
He's a liar.
What I said on recording. I'm recording you right
You
now.
said that I will take actions to defend
If you come and
Yeah, I
beat
will
on
take
my
action to
window
defend
again,
myself.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. You beat on my window again, I'll take measures to defend myself. Stay away from my vehicle. I told you, if you don't like what I'm doing, call the police. No, you're not.
That's a security
No,
guard.
you're not. It's not your job. I got a right to sit here. You get out of here.
Yeah, you get out of here. That's right. Tell the government people that are unlawfully violating your rights, you get out of here. How about that? Let's do that. That's Charles Van Morgan saying that's me. So let me start this from the beginning. Here we go.
City of Knoxville Parks, Parks and Recreation website, Tennessee.gov.
Bullshit.
What's the name of this?
I'm a
web?
lawyer, dude. I'm a lawyer. You understand that? You think you're just messing with anybody because you're security and, and you can't run me out of this parking lot. If you want to run me out of the parking lot, call the police and tell them to move me out of the parking lot, and I will sue you and your company. You got that? The best thing you can do is leave me alone.
Okay, Parks info.
I don't care about that. I ain't reading that. You call a police officer here and tell them to ask me to leave then. Go ahead and call them. Otherwise, you leave me alone or I'll consider that act of aggression against me and take measures to defend myself. Do you understand that?
You're trespassing on city property.
No, I'm not trespassing on city. No, I'm not threatening you. I said if you bother me again.
The property here is now threatened that he's going to escalate to violence.
That's not true. If you bang on my truck again, that's not true. You threaten me. You can't. Go ahead. Call them over here. You have no right to tell me to leave. And you threatened me. You beat on my window. Yes, no, you beat on it. You beat on it. Dude, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you and your company. And you just lied on the phone. I got what I said on recording. I'm recording you right now.
I said that I will take actions to defend
If you come and beat on my window again, I will. I'll say it again. You beat on my window again, I'll take measures to defend myself. Stay away from my vehicle. I told you, if you don't like what I'm doing, call the police. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's not your job. I got a right to sit here. You get out of here.
Yeah, get a good look at that. Get a good look at that government agent that is working for the government, subject to civil litigation. They don't want you here. They don't want you here. That's part of my ongoing dialogue. And the show today is going to be the illusion of control. The illusion of control. So, hope you can see me. We're trying to start a little bit early this morning. Had to use somebody else's cell phone to get that on video. But the illusion of control, and we're going to talk about they don't want you here also. And let me just show you that if you like the show, we got a great show for you today. Illusion of control. We're going to talk about they don't want you here. Like, share, comment, and thank you for being here. God bless y'all. God bless y'all, I pray. We had over 15,000 views yesterday. The channel's growing. You won't hear this anywhere else but from me. And we'll talk about that video here in just a second. And there's more like that where the government don't want you here. First, we're going to speak about the illusion of control. And if you want to support the channel and help me spread the message to protect you, then here's the QR code. I appreciate it if you can. The QR code, just hit that QR code and support the channel anything you can. If you can't, that's all right, no problem. But we sure appreciate it if you do. It'll help us spread the message. And the other code is the YouTube code, where you can QR code where you can find out how to get here. But you don't even need that because y'all already here, so y'all already one step ahead of the ball game. And we'll try to get this in the light a little more where you can see it. So yeah, there you go. Thank you all so very much. God bless you all. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. You won't hear the truth anywhere else but here. And we're spreading it. And we're going to keep spreading it. Now, it's still a little dark out. I hope you can see me. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the illusion of control, the first topic. And then we're going to discuss, I'll hold this up close and personal where maybe you can see me really well. I hope you can. Let's see in the comments. Can y'all see me? If you can tell me in the comments, let me turn around and see. It says here, he is totally crooked. Said hi. YouTube has become a domination scam. Cool name, Bo. Okay. All right. Thank y'all. Let's see. Let's see if I got it on the wrong way. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Now let me turn it around the other way. So let me know if y'all can see me. Yeah, let's see here. We're starting a little bit early. So we're starting a little bit early this morning. Hope you can see me. So let's talk about the illusion of control, what that is, and then we'll discuss the video. So come on in, we got a great show for you today. And also, remember to tune in tomorrow, because we got a great show for you tomorrow. Just to give you a little sample, tomorrow we're going to talk about government crimes, white collar crime, how they have caused people to get killed by committing crimes. People in the Tennessee Highway Patrol, we're going to call them out by name and show you with evidence of their crimes, where they committed criminal acts. Going to call out THPP, I like to call them, by name, and show you the crimes that they committed, and then show you how they got promoted for their crimes for backing up the agency. But that's tomorrow. Great show for you tomorrow. Got all the evidence lined out, and we'll present the case to you, the jury in Tennessee. And it's not defamation if it's true. So they can't even get us there. I hope y'all can see me. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Good morning. We started a little bit early this morning to try to catch the earlier crowd. Maybe we can break the 15,000. We had 31,000 people the other morning. So we got an audience to listen. The purpose of this channel is to put out the truth against people in government power, to protect you. Freedom of speech is to fight people in government power with the truth, TRUTH, and encourage you to vote. That's the purpose of this channel. You won't hear this anywhere else from somebody that is knowledgeable. Life lived. I have lived and have worked for the government. I know how they think. I have a high level of education, and I know you all are smart. You're listening to me. And I graduated from their colleges and universities and specialized school. I have a doctor of jurisprudence. I have a degree, Master of Arts from the University of Tennessee in sociology with the emphasis in criminology. So I can scientifically spell it out for you, how people in government power are crooked as hell and they're damaging you. And you need to act, vote to get rid of them. And I also have a few things to say about being unruly, which some people despise, but does it work? Let's look at the scientific evidence. Let's talk about, first of all, thank you all for joining me. God bless y'all. We're going to talk about the illusion of control. Now, what that is, and that relates to Charlie Kirk, because people think that had they been in that situation, they would have survived. It's the tendency of people to think, when they're looking on disasters, that they could have done better and they would have survived the disaster that somebody else did not survive, which is a fallacy, which is not true. It is the illusion that they're faster, better, or stronger, that they could have controlled an outcome better than the person that maybe was killed or that was severely damaged. You look at flooded areas where people die, or you look at areas like in California, the fires and the people that were devastated and killed, or the flooding in Texas. And people think that, hey, they feel sorry for the victims, but the illusion of control gives them the illusion, had they been there, they could have handled it differently and would have survived, that they have some amount of control over every circumstance. And it doesn't matter, looking on any major catastrophe, hurricanes, Katrina, whatever, that had they been there, they would have done better, because that is an optimistic way of thinking, because it helps us control our world and make sense out of things, even though that is not true. It is absolutely not true. There are some things you can control to increase your chances of survival in a horrific event. But the fact of the matter is, you are not in control. You don't have ultimate control. And bad things happen to good people that did everything they could to prevent it. That's just the fact. And people should trust in God, because God is the ultimate arbitrator of whatever happens and decides for his will, good or bad. So the illusion of control is similar to like a fire. People see a fire in a movie where people survive and run to the door and get out, and they're breathing and running and they survive the fire. In reality, a real fire, a lot of people killed in fires, little children. A real fire is if you're standing up, you can't breathe for just a few minutes. And the best way to survive would be to crawl on the floor. But in the movies, you don't show them crawling on the floor like it is in reality, that that's the best way to survive, because it doesn't show for good camera work in the movies. They're running toward the door and they survive. But in reality, the best way to survive is to get on the floor and to crawl out. And the heat that they imagine in the movie is really hot heat, but it's bearable. In reality, it's 1,000 times hotter than a real fire. And you have just a couple of minutes to escape, and you're hopped up and you're breathing heavy smoke, and that'll probably kill you by itself. And the illusion that people could get out of a fire is usually not accurate. You're probably not going to survive a fire that you wake up to in the middle of the night that's gone too far. If you had been in that Texas incident with those children, you probably would not have survived either. Had you been out in California, your house would have got burned up. There's not a lot you could do about it. So there is an illusion of control that's very pessimistic, but it's the truth. You don't have control over things. You really don't. You have almost no control. You have a little bit of control over your immediate circumstances, but you have no ultimate control. And it's really depressing. It is a way, the illusion of control is a way that people are optimistic and make sense of the world. And I'm being very, very pessimistic, but the truth is, a lot of depressed people, and I'm not depressed, but a lot of depressed people see the world as it really is. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's the truth. You have no control naturally to affect much of anything. When bad things happen to good people all the time, and they're not bad because bad things happen to them. The prosperity gospel is a damn lie. It's a lie. It's a lie straight from hell. God proposes things for his will, and who can stand against him? No one can. No one can. And I'll show you a few articles about that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you should not have an illusion of control, even in good times and even in bad, because God can make good out of bad or bad out of good. What you should do is trust in God through the Lord Jesus Christ. That's your only hope. An almighty, all-sovereign God that has never been out of control, will never be out of control, always knows everything that happens, nothing surprises him, allows the evil and the good for an ultimate good purpose. And who are we to question an almighty God? And if you think because of your money and power in the government that you control stuff, God's allowing you to that for now for his purpose, and it can be wiped away in a minute. You better get on your knees and ask for God's leadership, guidance, and direction, and help him protect you and bring you to glory. There's never going to be a perfect government on this earth. Never. But we can make it a little better than it is now. We can pray and ask God to help us and march forward as soldiers to war, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ and putting out truthful information against the dirty propaganda of the protesters in government power right now, which is what I'm doing and what I'm going to continue to do until God tells me not to. Now, I'm not in control of a lot of things. You are in control of how you think about things and how you react to things. So the way I think about things is to fight. God made me a fighter. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's what I'm propelled to. That's my propensity, just to fight. That's why you've seen me in front of a punching bag, because fighting is not when the battle is fought. That's too late. If you're just ready to fight when the battle's fought, you're going to lose. The fighting begins way before the battle. The battle's won, not when when the kickoff starts. The battle is won in the weeks and months preparing for battle. That's when the battle's won. So let me see how many people I got on here. We'll continue this line of thought, and I appreciate y'all being on here. God bless y'all, I pray. And we'll talk about delusion of control. And then we're going to talk about the government doesn't want you here. Why we need to fight them. That's not propaganda. That's the truth. They're protesters. They protest. Get off our property. No, it's not your property. It's ours, and we don't have to get off of it. So we'll talk about the video I just showed you. If you missed it, then you can replay the video and watch where a member of the government, by proxy acting on the government's behalf, was trying to tell me to leave a piece of property that I have every right to be. So let me see how many people I got here. We started a little early to get everybody, to get the earlier morning crowd, try to bust the 31,000 maybe. Thank y'all for coming. We're gonna Monday through Saturday, about 6:30 a.m., a little earlier, a little later. And we're gonna talk about people in government power, how crooked they are, and what we can do about it. We're gonna put out truthful information about people in power. You won't hear that anywhere else. Because people are too afraid to. People are too afraid to. But I'm like David, I got a few rocks, and I don't need all the garb and gear. I'm a little bit faster working by the seat of my pants, and that's what I'm doing right here by the seat of my pants. You're all watching. Y'all watching a fighter in action. Right here in action. You say, well, it looks like you've lost everywhere. I got this phone up here and this camera speaking truth to power. Does it look like I've lost? I ain't lost excuse me, but my language sometimes, but I ain't lost a damn thing. I'm winning. I'm winning. They just think I have. Let them keep thinking that. That makes it easier. Makes it easier. So let's wave to the people in government power. Oh, you got to speak bad. Yeah, right. You ain't won nothing, and you ain't going to. God's in control. That's who I pray to. The only way you'll win is if God allows you to win. God don't allow evil to win permanently, for a season maybe. So let me see how many people I got on here. Thank you all for showing up. Let's see. Yeah, we got a bunch. We got a bunch. We've been on here about 20 minutes, so we got a little while to go. So let's talk about the government don't want you here, and they don't. So you seen a video early. If you missed it, after this live is over, you can rewind it and play it. It's a video I taped just a few months ago where I was sitting in a city parking lot. In the parking lot, not in the park. There are no signs saying no trespassing. There are no signs saying open from dusk to dawn in that particular park. It is open 24/7. That parking lot's open 24/7. There is no warning or indication that you have to leave. It's open 24/7. I know that. I knew that. That's why I was sitting there, because I have a electric vehicle, and you don't have to like electric vehicles. I bought one because I like to drive it. They're fun to drive. But I was sitting there charging my vehicle. One of the reasons why I got it was because I could afford to drive it, because electricity, you can get it for free at public parks. Now, whether that's right or not, I don't know, but you can charge they got free electric charging stations. Now get this, that are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, all parks are not open 24/7. They're not. There's some of them, they'll tell you, open dawn till dusk. And that's just recently they've done that. When I was growing up, when I was 17, I started going to parks to jog on a Duff field down here. And there was no sign there. They've recently put signs up in the past few years because of homelessness, because they want to have a reason to arrest people in the park that have no other place to go. So they put up, you can only be there during the daytime. If they catch them at night, they can arrest them. So it's a reason to charge people. Now they don't even have to have that, because they can arrest you on a city sidewalk if you're homeless. So they don't want you here. So I'm sitting there charging up my truck in a charging station. One of the reasons why I got the vehicles, I knew that the city was promoting electric vehicles, and they have charging stations all over Knoxville that don't cost anything to charge up your vehicle. So you can pretty much get gas for free. It's similar. And I was sitting there getting gas for free. Part of the reason they want me to drive an electric vehicle, they provide that benefit. The vehicles cost a lot. So I'm sitting there charging up my vehicle, and electric vehicles are different than gas cars. You can't go get you can't go get electricity on every corner. There's only a few places you can get electricity. You have to have an outlet that puts out enough power, and they're not on every corner where you can just go in somebody's yard and plug up your electric charger. You know, you can at home if you got enough, if you got an adapter, and you can at electric charging stations. And at the free charging stations here in Knoxville that they advertise ahead of time for you to do, you can charge up there. So I was legally, rightfully there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, charging my electric vehicle, which is my right under the law. They promoted that. And this security guard comes up, doesn't know the law, doesn't know the rules, reads a rule that doesn't apply in that circumstance, because he says the city parks are closed. That's not the city park that I was in. That was in a free charging station provided by the city 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The city park was in front of him, and in front of him there's a sign, not where I was at, that says open from dawn till dusk. But that's the park area, not the parking lot where I was at. In the parking lot where I was at, it's specifically not marked, no trespassing or anything. But he didn't take time to look that up or care even about that, because they don't want you here. Things like that can turn into deadly force incidences where they try to kill you and think they're doing the right thing. And then when they figure out, oh, he had a right to be here, there's no marking signs, some road cop shoots me because I'm asking questions about, I've got a right to park here. There's no, and they shoot you, which if you look at the killings in the Knoxville Police Department, how many of them have video cameras? You know, they ran off the video, outside the video camera, or the SWAT team wasn't required to have one, all kinds of stuff. But if it's a justified killing, which it has now then they have all kinds of video camera. They show you, see this is what they did. They try to say, see, in this incident, that we had a right to kill this person. We didn't want to, tried every means. And they have good police shootings that are captured by all angles. And they say, see, he tried to tell the guy, drop it. And the guy's raising the gun. He didn't have any choice. And they film that, the ones that really matter, that they really did have justification. And there's some of them that they do. And there's cameras all over the place, and they say, see, we act appropriately in deadly force situations. Look what we did here. We had no other choice. And then in the circumstances where they murder somebody unjustifiably, and they do, let me tell you, law enforcement murders people, a lot of them, a lot of the time, they do. Now, they don't want you to know that. YouTube might ban me for that, which is my important, for saying the truth. For saying the truth. I'm not saying attack police, I'm saying they attack you. The thing to do, if they ban me off YouTube, remember the brand name Charles Van Morgan. You won't hear this from any other person. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I used to be in law enforcement. I know firsthand from investigators, and I've seen them do things that are so very unjustified, so very crooked and wrong. So you're not talking to a conspiracy theorist. It's not a theory when you see it with your own damn eyes. It's the truth. It's a fact. It happened. It wasn't right. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and it's not a conspiracy when it's the truth. So I'm just saying, they banned me off YouTube for speaking the truth, and I hope they don't, but they might. And I'm not saying be violent to cops. I'm not. Vote. Exercise your legal rights. Ask questions where you can safely. Don't be violent to cops. That's wrong. But if they ban me off YouTube, you'll find me probably on Rumble or another channel. Just remember Charles Van Morgan. The man sent, trained fighter against rogue people in government power to stand up for your rights. Now, I'm not just saying I'll stand up for your rights. I stood up for your rights in a pursuit in 2011 that they tried to say they won. They ain't won nothing. What they did was dirty and wrong, and I'll prove it. And it got a lot of y'all killed. So remember the brand name, Charles Van Morgan. I'll fight these people. If you want to join me, that's fine. It's a rough fight out here. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. I pray for God's protection over me and over my family first, and over me and over all my followers. God bless and protect you all. But whatever happens, happens. You can't. I didn't start this fight. I didn't ask for it, but I'm a fighter, and here I am. We'll do this thing. And I hate it for them. I really hate it for them, because they don't understand the mentality of a fighter, somebody that's trained and knows what he's doing. I didn't just jump up this morning and say, I'm going to fight. I learned how to do it from a child. I didn't have a dad to fight my battles for me. My mother did a really good job. I learned a lot of fighting from her. She wouldn't back down unless it was tactical. So I didn't have brothers. I'm the only son of a widow. God predestined. I know how to fight. And they think they got me beat. Check again. Yeah, let's wave at the people in government power again. Yeah, check again. And here's my sign to you, my followers. That's my hand signal for I love you. Let me see how many people I got in here. Continue listening. We're going to talk about they don't want you here. I'll talk about what happened in that video that I just showed you at the beginning. If you missed it, rewind it and watch the video. They didn't want me in a place I was supposed to be. That's not the first time, is it? I mean, you seen the video the other day. You can't go anywhere in public. Why? Not because of me. I'm going to stand up for your right to go where you have a right to be because of the government. People in government power are dirty as hell. It's going to get to where you can't stand on a damn sidewalk and walk. They're going to move you out of everywhere. They don't want you here. Let me see how many people I got here. We'll continue this truthful, factual commentary that I got proof and evidence, and you can look at it however you want to. I don't care. Look at it however you want to. I wish you'd be persuaded by what I'm trying to tell you, but if you don't, I mean, it's going to get worse. Worse and worse. It got worse over the past few years. So listen to what I'm telling you, and I know they're not fooling me. I know they're not fooling a lot of y'all. So God bless y'all. Let me see how many people I got on here. Thank y'all for listening. We'll continue the commentary. So yeah, we got almost, and we'll read some of the comments here. We'll read some of the comments. So keep y'all, what do y'all got to say about stuff? Let's see here, read the comments. It says here, hi, let's see. Bro, you are in YouTube. He is totally crooked. YouTube has become a donation. Cool name, bro. No, cannot see you. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Too dark, better. No. Okay, there we go. I have liked and subscribed to you. Thank you so very much, Maxwell Zach. Canap, Rise and Shine. Revenger said hi. You hat is on backwards. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm a little backwards. I'm not like everybody. Morning. Good morning. Carl here said hi. John Lambert, voting is not going to do it. You think with some voting systems they do it rigged. That's right. We got to watch that too. Subscribe, Carol, pass the soda. Hello. Let's see here. Let's copy some of this stuff where we can read it later, because YouTube won't let me keep it. So you need a ride. Why you walking? Yeah, it keeps me young. Keeps me young. Thank y'all. I love the Lord, and blessed be. Amen. Have fun. Be safe. That's right. Put on your hat, right? Boy, y'all don't like my hat turn around. It's got my UT emblem on it. Revelation and Thomas, which I saw like into leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion, and China gave him his power. I don't know about that. So yeah, we got 140 something views in here. Let me copy this. Somebody keeps calling me John Goodwin. No, I'm not a bit funny. I'm not a bit funny, and I'm not a clone. Go to sleep, old man. It's too late for a light. Yeah, you can call me whatever you want to. Yeah, you can't shut me up. I'm trying to hear about this stuff. The fact is, citizens are important than the homeless people. Yeah, they are. Everybody's important according to God. Everybody's important. How do you get that? So we'll continue this commentary. Almost 200 people in here. It's one thing if you are homeless because of financial circumstances, but it's another if you're just a drug addict. That's true, but not all of them are drug addicts. And they're all human beings, and they need to be taught to fear God. 8 years ago, I had an action with police, and I refused to give then my ID I was working at the time, and they didn't hurt me or kill me. This guy's full of it. Yeah, okay, that's whatever you think. Whatever you think, that's your opinion. The police never hurt or kill anybody, right? I used to be a police officer. I've seen them do it. Okay, let's go. We'll finish the rest of the story with what happened. So if you want to know what happened, stay tuned. Copying some of these comments so I can read them later, figure out what y'all are thinking, how y'all are feeling about things. Call it. So here we go. Let me turn this around now. Hopefully you can see me. So which way can you see me better? See me like this, or let me turn around and the other side? Can you see me like this better? Which one y'all like? So if you can tell me on here, like this or the other way. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna, the rest of the story is this. So y'all seen the video. So I got in my truck, and the low-life scumbag, you seen his picture, it's not defamation, it's true, enforcing a law that didn't exist, pounded on my truck window, violent, threatening manner. And then he gets upset because I warned him, hey, don't be doing that to me, dude. You're barking at the wrong dog. This one bites. Leave me. And did you hear what I told him? Just like I told those Knoxville city officers. Leave me alone. It's a free country, isn't it? See, that's the problem. No, it's not. Not with these road people in power. You're not allowed to be anywhere. So I got back in my truck. He called the police. I gave him my ID. I don't care if they know who I am. They already know who I am. I gave him my ID. And he asked me to leave. And I said, why? I'm not supposed to leave. I shouldn't have to leave. And he said, because the security guard told you to leave. So, legally, being a lawyer unlicensed, albeit because they're crooked, that being government property, even if they don't have a rule or no parking or anything, they do have a right to control their property. It's government property, taxpayer property, the government control, and that's why we need to vote them out. At any time, they can tell you to leave. Now, that is the no trespassing sign because it's on the government. It's not like a sidewalk. It's a park, part of a park, the front of a park. So they do have a right to inform you to leave. They can't arrest you right then. And then it's questionable, but that's not good legal ground to contest them over that. So I did leave. The other day where I was parked at a space that I paid for, now I'm on good legal ground, I didn't have to leave, and they finally admitted that. There, they could have arrested me because after I refused to leave, and whether they would have stood up in court, I don't know, because I didn't pay for that place. Even though I was right, probably would have got the charges dropped, but I probably wouldn't have succeeded in a civil lawsuit. I could have sued the security guard if I'd have chose to, because he was acting as an arm of the government. So in effect, he was doing the job of government. So even though he was giving me an unlawful order. So the result of that was I left. But you see how you can't park anywhere. Government won't let you, well, they won't let you be anywhere, even on public sidewalks. So let's see how many people I got in here. Hopefully y'all can see me. Yeah, look at these people, man. Some people are just, and I leave my comments open to whoever wants to comment. I don't regulate the comment. If they start getting too off base where it's not productive, then I might start, there's a little switch where you can regulate the comments. So if it starts affecting the rest of my audience, I don't like to inhibit free speech, but I'm not inhibited. This is my channel. You came to visit me, and I'm not going to ask you to be respectful. I'm going to tell you to be. I'll hit that little toggle and you won't be able to say, I mean, you can disagree with me all you want to, but the insults and stuff like that, shows how thuggish you are. Shows how thuggish and wrong. Because if you can't prove a point by facts and telling the truth, then just by calling me an old man, even if I was an old man, what does that have to do with price of beans? That just means that I know more than most people do, or I should. I've lived a long life. So we'll regulate the comments. If you keep it up now, I'll probably even encourage it more. So that'll just give me a reason to say you can disagree with me with facts and evidence, but the name calling and stuff like that, you just look in the mirror, because you're just defaming yourself, talking about yourself. So, and you might be Uber, you know, the corporation Uber. I drive a taxi for a living, and I also have a JD, most educated, smartest taxi driver you ever meet. But I have a lot of complaints. People call the Knoxville Police Department, all the kind of time saying I do all kinds of stuff. One of them said I pulled a gun on him the other day, which I didn't. And they, all kinds of lies, which they have no proof for. One of them's taking pictures of my car, said I was driving recklessly, taking a picture of my car, saying, see, he's driving. How does that, I mean, really? You got a picture of my car at a red light? I mean, driving recklessly? I mean, a bunch of nuts out there. And nuts, thank you for viewing me. That's good. But I'm not deterred by your being a turd. You know, you're just stupid. And a lot of that. But thank you for listening. So let's move on. If there's rude comments, ignore it. Remember, there was a trooper I used to work with when I worked the scales, and he had a CB, and he came in the post mad as hell, talking about what the truckers were saying about people that enforce truck driving laws. And he was mad as hell, saying he was going to go get one of them and all kinds of stuff. A young guy, very upset. And I was thinking, dude, turn it off. Don't listen to it. So freedom of speech doesn't mean that you got to listen to what they're saying. That's part of freedom of speech. You can say what you want. I can say what I want, as long as it's not defamation, subject to civil laws and criminal laws. I can't threaten violence, and I'm not. But people don't have to listen to it. So you don't have to listen to their garbage. You don't. People think, well, it's being respectful to listen to all points of view. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not respectful to listen to a point of view that people should have killed Charlie Kirk. That's not respectful. That's craziness. And I'm not listening to crazy people. So the end result of that was that I left, and I didn't sue because it's the likelihood of winning is low. Even though I'm right, morally and legally, it doesn't always get it in a courtroom. And you won't win in a Tennessee courtroom, because Tennessee courtrooms are crooked as hell. The government will win. Law enforcement will win. Even if they're wrong, they'll win every time in a Tennessee courtroom. That's the reason why. The reason why you need to vote. You need to vote these sick people out of office because of what they do. Because of their bias against you and for their own promotions. They get promoted for lying. If a judge lies in a court case, puts down facts that didn't even happen to rule for the governor, and the people over them were going to back them up, because that's how they got promoted to appeals courts, because they promoted the governor. They listened to the governor's lies and put the weight of law, legally writing out lies and approving of lies. And then the governor promotes them to the Tennessee, lying, dirty Tennessee Supreme Court. That's full of lies, pack of lies. They write stuff that's not true. If you want to listen to propaganda that's completely fake, biased, and taking away your constitutional rights, read rulings of the Tennessee Supreme Court. They are so rogue. They are so full of lies. They are so crooked. They are so in favor of the power, making themselves look legitimate by saying, oh, the Supreme Court adjudicated that, it must be the truth. No, it's exactly the opposite. Whatever they adjudicate is exactly the opposite of what it should be. They're a bunch of liars. They got in those positions of power by writing stuff that's not true, legitimizing it and making themselves appear trustworthy and right when they're not. They're absolutely not right. They're full of liars. They are giving right now in the Tennessee Supreme Court, they are giving foreigners more rights than you and me. People that were born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Sing it with me. Born in the USA. That ought to mean something. You know why? Because I was registered for the draft. Registered for the draft, yeah. So, but these people that come over here, and some of them legally, God bless their hearts. I don't blame them for wanting to be in America. Some other countries maybe, I mean, they got rights in other countries that surpass ours. Let's just be honest about it. Now, I'm not saying they're better. We need to fight for our rights. But they come over here. People have told me, I talk to people all over Tennessee, go to my Facebook page and look at the pictures, scroll down through my pictures and look at all the cities and states, all the cities I've been to, and I took my picture in front of churches. I've been all over the state talking to people. I know what they think. They don't think that foreigners should be treated better than Tennesseans, and they are. They're being treated better. They are. That's a fact. And I can tell you specific instances where foreigners are treated better than you are born in. And I'm not saying they ought to be treated worse. Now, that's another thing. Tennesseans don't believe that foreigners ought to be treated worse or treated bad, because there's even promises in the Bible, don't mistreat foreigners because they have less political power. But if they have no right to be here, and if they're here legally, there is no way in hell that they should be treated better than you and me are. And they are being treated better every day. Before you know it, they'll be allowed in our public spaces, and you'll be told to get out of here. And you heard what I said to that low-life line security guard that was violating my rights. You get out of here. So people in Tennessee have law licenses that don't have a draft card or don't have a selective service registration. And they're here in the United States practicing law, and I can't be a lawyer, and I got a selective service registration. I've been here since I was born here, and they weren't born here. They come here in their older age, never fought in any wars, was at any risk of going to any war, never did anything to keep the lights on in the courtrooms, that they open the courthouse doors for them and won't open them for you. And that's what our Tennessee Supreme Court does. That's what our Tennessee Supreme Court does, not Russia. Forget about Russia. Russia's across the ocean. Let's look at our Tennessee Supreme Court. And you won't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan stand up against them because I'm a fighter, and it's the right thing to do to protest wrong and promote voting these people out. Anybody in the Supreme Court, when their name comes up for retention, vote them out. Vote them out every single damn time, because if you don't, you're going to have foreign lawyers representing you. You're going to have foreign lawyers in anywhere they want to go, or people from foreign countries anywhere they want to go, and they won't tell them to get out of here. American citizens will be told to get out of here. In fact, it'll get so bad that, and it already is. It already is. The only chance we have is to fight these people at the voting booth. And, unruly, as long as it's not unconstitutional, as long as it's not against the criminal law, is not a bad thing. Don't violate any constitutional, don't make any crimes or violate any civil laws. But being unruly is not a bad thing. It will help assist and promote and protect the cause. Don't do anything that you don't believe God would not want you to do. But God don't want people not to throw the rock like David did in the Bible in that instance. And I'm not saying throw rocks, but you get the gist of it. We need to fight these people. It's getting to the point now, and it already is, and it's going to get worse, where you're going to have foreign law enforcement here that are going to police you. They're going to have police powers over you. People from foreign countries that are here that are going to tell you what to do. They have police authority. Police have more authority than an average citizen. They have the authority to make misdemeanor arrests committed in their presence. They have authority to make felony arrests that aren't committed in their presence. And you don't have rights as much as they do to make citizens arrest. They have a right to the use of more opportunities that they have where they can use deadly force, where if you use the same deadly force, you would violate criminal laws. And people from foreign countries are being allowed into the United States of America. And some of them, get this, some of them, and people are going to argue about this, but I know it to be a fact. I can tell you names. Some of them came here illegally. They're not even legal citizens. They didn't even gain legal status the appropriate way. Say that doesn't happen. That's not right. Okay, who gives people legal status? Hello? Who gives people legal status? The government gives people legal status. The courts give people legal status. Do you trust the courts? They came over here illegally. They shouldn't have been here. They didn't go through the lawful procedure. It happens all the time. It's not a new thing. They came over here illegally. They don't comply by our laws. They apply to the government after they've already broke the laws. And then the government, people in government power, give them legal status here. They shouldn't have. And then they sometimes before they were made legal, they make them a police officer. While they're a police officer, I can tell you an instance of a Tennessee state trooper, Steve Sacapone, one of the most crooked, violent, dangerous men in the state, let alone give him the badge and it makes it worse. He can attack you now through state power. He's a Tennessee state trooper, Steve Sacapone. It's not defamation, it's true. He came over to the United States illegally. He didn't have a right to be here. He broke the laws when he stepped over the border of the United States of America. And I'll finish this. Just listen to me and tell you some scary stuff and what we can do about it. See, we got 184 people on here. Thank you all so very much. Let's get some of your comments. So Steve Sacapone came here illegally. Steve Sacapone came here illegally. Let's see what time it is yet. Steve Sacapone came here illegally. He violated laws to get here. Let's get on the other side so you can, a little bit more light. Hopefully y'all can see me. It looks light enough. He came here illegally and broke the law to get here. Did not have a right to be here. Got on with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Was an illegal alien when he was on with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. And a police officer. And what happened with him is the Highway Patrol took him off patrol, put him on administrative leave with pay. So he's an illegal alien. He's not supposed to be here. He's from another country. Violated our laws getting into the country. Got on with the Highway Patrol, and it was found out. They knew, it was just uncovered and probably going to be made public that he was an illegal alien from another country, wasn't supposed to be here, and then he was a Tennessee state trooper. And he was on patrol. He probably wrote a lot of tickets, probably arrested a lot of people, some of it unlawfully. I'll tell you about some of the things he taught us in the academy that was wrong. And mistreated me in the academy, even though I had a right to be here and he shouldn't have been here. But I didn't know it at the time. But they put him on administrative leave with pay. And people in the government power were saying, we need to pray for him. He's having a tough time right now. Yeah, he's having a tough time. He broke the law. He broke the damn law. That's the way they do when they break the law. It's, they're having a hard time. Let's pray for him. Yeah, let's pray that justice will be done for him. Let's pray justice will be done for Stephen Sacapone. So he's over here illegally. He's a state trooper, enforcing the laws on you in a country he doesn't even belong in. Imagine that. You think that's the only time that happens? No. And then the government gives him legal status. How did that happen? He broke the law, but let's forget about that. Go forth and murder no more. Pretty much what they're saying. I mean, somebody's in jail for murdering say they're walking around free and they murdered somebody, and then people find out they murdered somebody, and then all of a sudden they say, well, we're going to forget about the murder, go forward the rest of your life, no punishment, just don't murder anymore and everything's fine, and we might make you a police officer. Not that he killed anybody, I'm just saying he came over here illegally. Deport his horse's platoon, deport him, get him out of here. But no, they didn't deport him. They gave him legal status. That's what happens. People say, well, they're legal. Police officers are legal. He's a legal citizen now. He's a legal citizen because people you voted into office that I voted, some of them I admit I shouldn't have. I'm a little smarter than that now because I don't go along with their propaganda. Were here illegally. They gave them legal status that they should not have and put a pin of legitimacy on them, and they're still not legitimate. Steve Sacroponi didn't, I don't think he registered for the draft. There's a lawyer, Guzman, that has his law license, came over here from Argentina, didn't have enough education. They allowed him his law license, kept the courthouse doors open. When I was registered for the draft, a lot of soldiers fought to keep the courthouse doors in our civilized society. And he got given to him what I earned by the Tennessee Supreme Court. So I'm just telling you the truth. You want to hear it anywhere else, listen to my story tomorrow. I'm going to talk about government crimes, and we're getting ready to get off here. Government crimes. I'm going to show you some pictures now. But we're talking about government crimes tomorrow that cause people to get killed tomorrow, about 6:30 a.m. in the morning. Thank y'all for coming. Hopefully we broke the 31,000 this morning. Like, share, comment. If you want to contribute, we certainly appreciate it. We'll go all around the state putting out news about rogue people. And I want to show you Tennessee Article Sections 1 and 2 of the Tennessee Constitution so you'll know that we're not doing anything wrong. If they take me off this channel, check my name, Charles Van Morgan on Rumble. So here is, let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got almost 200 people. So here we go. Let's read Article Sections 1 and 2 of the Tennessee Constitution. And you'll see in Tennessee we have rights to fight the dirty government. So this says right here, Article 1, Section 1 of the Tennessee Constitution states that all powers inherent in the people who have the right to alter, abolish the government for their peace, safety, and happiness. Article Section 2 enforces this by declaring that the doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power is absurd and destructive to the public good. Together, these sections establish the principle of popular sovereignty and the right of the people to resist oppression. So that's the law. Hello, fellas. That's the law in Tennessee. We got a right to resist the oppressive government that gives foreigners rights, makes them police officers that we don't have. And that's just the truth. So in talking about the illusion of control, all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, what dost thou? That is from the Bible. The illusion of control, we have the illusion of control. God's in ultimate control. God controls everything. And let's look at this. Daniel 3:35 is a verse from the Bible that says, declares God's absolute sovereignty, stating that people are insignificant in his presence and no one can question or challenge his will, and according and accusations either in the heavenly realm or on earth. The verse emphasizes that God is in total control of everything and operating according to his divine purpose. So while we are not in control, illusion of control, God is in complete control. And that is why our story does not end in defeat but ends in victory. God controls the victory, and it is ours. So I trust in the Lord. and these people don't. And let's talk about a little bit about the success of the unruly in combating the corruption of the government, people in power. Government is good. The people in power are corrupt right now. Let's talk about social movements and how we can fight these people. What we can do about them. One of the things, I'm not talking about anything illegal or anything violent or anything wrong to do, but being unruly, answering to them harshly, and being in appropriate circumstances, being disruptive. This is talking about social movements. The success of the unruly, William A. Gibson. This is talking about science. The unruly are overwhelmingly successful in trying to get concessions from the government. So we need to aggressively contest these people, which is what I'm doing now. Don't be passive. Aggressively contest these thugs. Here's the summary of that man's finding, empirical research on the success of the unruly. And here, I'll read it to you where you can see it. The results on arrest and other constraint. Here, we'll do it sideways. The results on arrest and other constraints seem to parallel those on violence very closely. Unruly groups, those that use violence, strikes, and other constraints, have better than average success. Of the 21 groups that use some form of constraints, fully 2/3 win new advantages, and 71% win acceptance. Among the 10 groups that use no constraints but receive either violence or arrest, none is successful on either criteria. The 22 groups that neither experience violence. So perhaps it's discerning to discover that restraint is not rewarded with success, but those who use more unruly tactics escape misfortune because they are clever enough to use these tactics primarily in situations where public sentiment neutralizes the normal deviance of the action, thus in reducing the likelihood and effectiveness of counterattack. So being unruly appropriately is not a bad thing. And here we need to remember that change is possible, but that it will not happen automatically without collective action. Oliver, 1985, number 21. Optimism about the outcome of a collective challenge will thus enhance the possibility of participation. Pessimism will diminish it. So we can win against the government. We can win dramatically, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And all that stuff I just read was from Social Movements by Doug Adam, David A. Snow. And I'm not saying to break the law, but being harsh and standing up for your rights will get more concessions than doing whatever they tell you to do and putting up with people just telling you to get out of a parking lot that they have no right to tell you to get out of. And in closing, I want to mention, and a lot of people won't agree with me. This is my opinion. This is not science, but I'm just saying that I used to be a Tennessee state trooper. I got to mention this. Got to tell you my opinion. You don't have to listen to this. May or may not be true, but I'm going to say it. So listen to this in closing. So yeah, UT lost a football game yesterday. Or not yesterday, Saturday, against the University of Georgia. I was born in Georgia, even though we lived in Tennessee, so I'm upset about it, but, go Dogs. Go Volunteers mostly. But when I was a trooper, I got to stand on the sidelines because and guard the coach and the players because of the fact that I made more drunk driving arrests than anybody in the state, and we had a different captain at the time. And when a new captain took over, Captain Satterfatter, and I'll talk a little bit about her tomorrow, she made her decision smoking cigarettes with Major Stacy Heatherly now behind the garage at the highway patrol post. They weren't allowed to smoke in the building, so they'd go outside behind the building, gossip, and Captain and Major would make her decisions. So, what a rogue thuggish, creepy organization that THPP is, and they have a sergeant that is a illegal alien. Used to be, they gave him illegal status, and he can put you in jail. Somebody from another country. That's what the Highway Patrol does. That's why we need to fight to protest these people. But the THP has troopers stand on the sideline. They were there Saturday. One of them's a captain with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. He stands on the sideline, guards the coach. And I'm just saying, when I was on the sidelines and guarded the coach, and I'll show you his picture here, we always won the games. I was on the sideline for 2 games. Hello. I was on the sideline for 2 games, and we always won when I was on the sidelines. Here's his picture right here. I just want to show you this. This is my opinion. May be true, may be false. Just don't take this in the same level of acceptance as I do the other stuff. But I'm gonna get my personal plug in here. So here you go. Here's a picture of him. Loser THP. That's a captain with the Highway Patrol. And there's the coach. I like Coach Pruitt. Pruitt. I didn't like Coach Pruitt. I like Coach Heupel. Coach Pruitt, they stood on the sidelines of Pruitt. And when they stand on the sidelines, what happened yesterday? What happened yesterday here's a symbol they had with a boot. That's not a good thing. And American flag is, but when they are on the sidelines, and here in the past few years, when I was on the sidelines in 2010, 2011, we won the games. We won the games when I was standing on the sidelines. I was a good influence on the players. And now they have that captain on the sidelines, and they have other troopers on the sidelines. And that captain's not a good man. He's not. He shot at somebody when he didn't have the legal right to do it. It was covered up by THP because he must know somebody. But while they're on the sidelines, they're a bad influence on the Tennessee football team. My thing is, if we get the Tennessee Highway Patrol off the sidelines of the football team, they might start winning some football games. Because as it stands in the past, 20 years, they haven't been able to do a damn thing. They haven't been able to do anything since the coach that we had that left in the middle of the night, that I was on the sidelines. I remember one game we played South Carolina, and I think the other game we played Kentucky, but we won both games when I was guarding the coach on the sidelines. And I was on the sidelines because I did such a great job, rewarded by the captains to promote what I did, show them if you do this hard work and this successful and lowering the fatality rate, you'll get to run through the T. One of the highlights of my life, my professional life, was running through the sidelines. And but I was a good influence on the players, a winner, and somebody where the rubber meet the road. I was effective, and they put all these people. And I had a degree from the University of Tennessee. I know what it's like to be a student at UT. I was one. I got a big, fancy, beautiful degree. And it's not like Haslam just has his name on the side of the damn building. I studied there, learned a few things. Learned some things that I'm teaching you all. But the man, the captain that's standing on the sidelines, doesn't know anything about criminology, doesn't know anything about how to keep you safe. He literally broke the law and shot at somebody that he shouldn't have shot at while he was on patrol, and got by with it. They cleared him of the incident. And who's your daddy? I don't know who his daddy is, but I bet it's somebody that contributes to the governor's campaign. Violent and dangerous. But he's on the sideline, and they lose almost every game. They lost yesterday against Georgia. They've never been able to do very well, even at home, because the bad influence of THPP on the sidelines. The Tennessee Highway Piss Patrol is what I call them. And they're on the sidelines, and they shouldn't be. Or their contact with the players should be limited because they're a bad influence. Because here's the influence the Tennessee Highway Patrol puts on the public. And it works because for them, it doesn't work for you. Because no matter what they do, they can lose the game, and they're the referees, and they just change the rules where they win. That's how people that have cost people's lives are majors in the highway patrol. People that lie about serving in the military, never served a day, are promoted to major, because if the criteria for them is lie for the governor and you'll get promoted. It's not about being effective on your job. Now, football is different. Football, you can have somebody's boy out there all you want. But where the rubber meets the road, Georgia puts people out on the football field that can run, jump, tackle, catch a football, kick field goals, and win. They've won national championships in the last few years. And they got the Georgia Highway Patrol standing right beside them. And Tennessee has people stand beside them that know I got promoted not because I do the right thing, not because I'm effective or able to do anything, but because of who I know. And when they influence the Highway Patrol, when the Highway Patrol lets them do that, when they influence these football players, and these football players, well, he's not got a degree, and he didn't go to school here, and he's a captain, he didn't have any education to know what he's doing. And look at him, the little fella couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag, but he's a big captain, and if you talk to him, he's stupid as a doorknob. And he's a captain. Well, I don't have to really be able to run or jump. We can still win like he did. We'll be captain of the football team. When you put out that kind of influence, and it doesn't work on the football field. What works on the football field is people like me that studied and worked and won't give up, won't quit, and practice and train and do the hard work, and haven't been given anything, have had stuff taken away, but still fight. When you have somebody like that, if I was on the sidelines, that kind of influence, that kind of knowing, hey, look at him, he's still fighting no matter what. Then you have a football team that wins football games. And I'm just saying, all Vol fans, look at the THPP on the sideline of those games, and look at the influence that they perpetrate over those football players. They deserve better than the THP. And they're probably not going to be removed, but I would ask Coach Heupel, and put this out. I'm saying this out. Alarming, truthful statements. Coach Heupel, if you want to win, get THPP off the sidelines. Remove them. Don't get them around the players. Don't let them in the locker room, because they're a bad influence on the players. They're teaching your players you don't have to be able to play. You can win games without the hard work, dedication, and any knowledge. And it doesn't work that way when Georgia comes to town, because they don't win that way. Their coach wouldn't put up with that. So I'm just saying, spread the word. Tell Coach Heupel, if you want to win, and just try it. Get rid of the THPP. And if you can't get rid of them, can't get rid of state troopers on the sidelines, then what you need to do is at least limit their exposure to what they tell the football players, because they're not telling them what they need to do to win football games. They're a bad influence. So at least limit their exposure. Don't let them talk to the players. Keep them away from the players. And they're there watching the game. The THPP is sitting there watching the game. You can watch them, see if the kick goes in. He needs to be turned around watching to see if anybody is dangerous in the crowd, protecting the crowd. But he's there enjoying himself watching the football game. That's what they think they can do. Get THPP off the sidelines. At least tell Coach Heupel to limit the Highway Patrol's exposure to the players. They're a bad influence. And I think until that happens, the Tennessee football team is not going to win. They're not going to be as successful as they were in the 90s when they didn't have that type of influence, and they're not going to win. So I'm just saying, you can put that in your toolkit. Don't put that the same weight as other stuff, but I got to get my 2 cents in. That's what I think. Get THPP off the sidelines, and they might start winning football games. So I don't know, but if you want to contact the coach, suggest that to him. They need to change something, don't they? So let's see how many people we have in there. We're going to get off here. Remember tomorrow. See how we got a bunch. Remember, we're going about an hour and 14 minutes. So remember tomorrow, we're going to talk about government crimes. We're going to talk about people in government power in committing crimes against humanity with evidence. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. I put out a lot of preparation for that tomorrow as I did today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Now remember, if you like the channel, please subscribe. We're gaining every day. Please share, talk to your friends, and also if you want to contribute, hey, we need it to expand our reach across the state, across the nation, if so be it. And we'll spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we'll spread the truth against people in power in the government. They're dirty dirtbags that need to be beat at the voting booths and treated with the respect that they're due. Not very much. So like and subscribe, share, and remember my taxi business, Charles Van Morgan. It's called Safe Taxi. We're here in Knoxville, and if you need a ride here in Knoxville, or if it's a significant ride somewhere else, we'll travel as long as it's a decent trip, and we will try to help you out. I got Michelle that I'm supporting. She has medical issues. She can't work, so I have to try to keep up with the medical bills. So thank y'all very much. Just hit the icon or the Cash App, and we'll be back on here tomorrow morning with another great show. And just remember that God loves you, and I do too. Till next time.